Minutes of July 27th, 2021 as presented.
So motion.
Motion by Pat. Is that seconded by you, Tom?
Sure.
I thought so. Sure. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Communication.
We have started the process of the census. We finally got our census figures. I probably went up about 100 people, which was surprising considering that every estimate for the last 10 years has been about 100 the other way. We're going to do maps. I'm going to get the town of Mercer a map, the city of Hurley and the city of Montreal, because everybody else is full. You know, you don't need a map. And I don't see anybody arguing to split a town in half. So half goes to one town and half goes to the other. So those three still have 4 supervisors, and 2. We got a little hiccup in Montreal. I think the easiest way to fix it is just leave the map the way it is. And whoever is in Ward 2 will vote alderman in Ward 2. There's about 20 people who are screwed up. They can't even use the machine up there. They have to vote on a special paper ballot because they're voting for the Ward 1 supervisor and the Ward 2 alderman, which makes absolutely no sense. It's time to fix that. And I think the easiest way is just leave our map the way it's already drawn.
Right.
And take all those people that are in Ward 2 and they will now vote for the alderman in Ward 2. Right. That was the easiest way to fix that mess so they could use a machine. That works. They can't use the machine. They can't use the voting machine because when you put Ward 1, you don't get to vote for your alderman. Because they did that because of 20 years ago, it got screwed up and they didn't want to lose an alderman off the board. So they just redrew the line and those 20 people in that ward have always had to vote on a paper ballot since. So that's what we're starting. We'll have a public hearing after the fact. All the towns will have to okay the county plan. I don't see why they wouldn't. There isn't that much difference. The Hurley 3rd Ward, they lost quite a few people because of the nursing home and that, because of COVID. Other than that, there's not much difference between the other ones. They didn't really change much at all.
The boundary lines aren't changed?
I don't think we have to move the boundary line simply because you guys are at large anyway. You know, all of your aldermen are at large. Hurley's, that's the way it is. Montreal has different wards for aldermen. The town of Mercer has at large. So I think that's the only thing that really needs to be fixed up there. So we're starting the process. It's supposed to be done about by the end of the year. And I don't see a problem with that, considering we're starting now. Other than that, that's about it.
I got nothing. Okay, community department heads and chairman's report. Let's start off with Tom.
Okay, stumpage as of today. $1,360,690.29. Last year was $1,180,853.03. Eric said that he talked to FEMA, and by next week we should have a check coming for $230,000. And then we're gonna start working on the marina itself, so we can get some of that money back. And that's all
That's okay. Was that capital money coming back?
yeah, that was campground money.
Okay.
Tom, what about the forestry meeting on Monday the 13th? Any word on that?
No.
Still at noon?
You can't have it on Monday.
Okay.
I mean, the whole week seems like it's screwed up. Can't have it on Friday, you have football.
That's noon Friday. I can do noon Fridays.
Everybody can but John.
No, it's tough.
John's got fish fry.
Yeah. You could have it at his restaurant. Free fish.
Hey, wait a minute, let me rethink this.
So we cannot make it on Monday the 13th, no.
No, I can't.
What's wrong with Wednesday?
I can't. I'm old, I gotta go to the doctor's.
Me too.
Okay, well, keep us posted when we're gonna have it.
Okay.
Any day.
Well, then you gotta tell the forestry director, she just emailed me with that, right,
Oh,
for that date.
Yeah,
She emailed
I
me
talked
this
to
morning.
Eric and,
Yeah, I got her email today that it was gonna be at noon on Monday.
yeah,
Me too.
Okay.
and you don't ask.
What else you got?
Law enforcement, we had a meeting and I'm terrible. I forgot to write down the girl's name that we,
Maria Grasso. Maria Grasso was
yeah, we
part-time
moved
dealer
her up
dispatcher.
to full-time
Reed Russell?
Maria Grasso.
because
Donna Touch retired.
Donna
so
retired.
Maria's going up to fill in for her full-time slot.
And then are you advertising for another part-timer?
We're gonna
No,
call-
he's going through the list.
He's gonna go through the list. He's got a few left from last time. You gotta see if they're still interested because it's been less than a year since we collected them. Then he's gonna update his list from there on, right, Tom?
Yes,
Okay.
that's all I have.
That's it.
Thanks, Tom.
Anytime, Joe.
All right, so we have one little thing. Finally, today, I ran into the office to look at the mail and opened one up from the Department of Transportation, DOT, right? And we've been working on, I believe I said this trail for D&D, one of our small businesses, to put a trail running parallel to Highway 51. Got the approvals, worked with DNR, DOT, property owners, on and on. And the first sentence, I only had a short period of time to read, said the trail is approved. Holy cow. So B&B is not, their business is not landlocked. They'll be able to rent their ATVs, UTVs, and expand their business.
Is
So,
that the rental unit just north of Mercer?
Yeah.
Right on
yeah,
Third?
yeah. And there's some other things, but right now, I think that's the one I want to report on. A lot of hard work, but it came through.
Is that your economic development?
Yeah.
Report?
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy. Next, Pat.
Okay, I'm gonna start out with zoning. We're doing real good. We're 120 permits ahead of last month.
Sure.
Oh, year ago, as of last month. And there's still lots of them coming in. It's surprisingly, there's a few people building.
Yeah.
Even with the price that lumber is. And recycling, we had a heck of a good weekend on our end in Hurley. By 11 o'clock, our truck was loaded up and we had stacks on the side of tires and white goods that were there. I don't know how Mercer ended up, but I heard that their truck was filled. If they had extra, I don't know.
If he called that driver before you and I left that Saturday, he said, I think he might have had just a little bit more room left in the truck. He was gonna stop in Hurley and take a few of our items to fill it up. But I think the pile is gone now. They came back and got the rest of it. I think.
But just in what we loaded Saturday on our end, if anyone wants to talk about computers, there was computers. There had to be at least 600 laptops that went in that back of that truck. And that's not talking about all the older machines.
We had a really good turnout.
Yes, we did.
They were there an hour before we were even open.
I was amazed at, when I went at 9:30 in Mercer, the number of old TVs that are still coming in to recycle. I
You know
couldn't
what,
believe people still had that many.
Everyone that came in with an old TV Opal, they said, and it still works. I just wanted
Yeah.
I was one of them, I said, and it still works.
Yeah.
Took 2 boys to haul it down the stairs, but
Yes.
Nobody will take it. It's
So
all
there
work.
was a lot of flat screens that went in there.
yeah, there was quite a few.
All different sizes.
Lot of what?
So that's-
Flat screen.
But at
Flat
least,
screen TV.
at least they're not getting thrown out on the sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
The pickup, I thought it was done real good. Okay, now the airport, our new airline is starting to take reservations. And they will be as 1st of October flying in. And we're anticipating and we're trying to build up a little bit more parking lot for storage for cars. It's as we go down the line and see how it goes, and it's up to the people if they want to make this airline work. They're gonna have to get behind it.
Pat, what is the name of the new airline business?
Denver Air.
Denver Air.
Denver Air Jet Service.
Out of them.
There's gonna be a 50 passenger to Chicago every day and a 30 passenger to Minneapolis every day, 6 days a week.
Chicago, both Chicago and MSP.
Right, yeah, right now,
6 days a week. huh?
right now they go to Chicago twice a day and Minneapolis once a day, but they only have a 9 passenger plane. So now we're gonna run 50 passengers to Chicago once a day and 30 passengers to Minneapolis once a day,
But it's 6 days a week, so
6
that's
days a
great.
week.
Mhm.
That was the reason for the larger parking lots that Pat was talking about, because with that many more people on the plane, there's no place to park the cars.
Sure, which day is off?
Saturday.
Saturday.
They do
So if you wanna go see, the Bears
Yeah,
play, you
not
better
flying
go
on
on Friday.
Come home on Sunday.
Who's watching the Bears, for God's sake?
Joel.
He's a Bears fan.
I'm not the only one.
Oh, boy, that's true.
Okay.
Oh,
I know you got Pat, I didn't wanna.
So you're not alone.
Is that it?
Some guys-
Wait a minute. When you're in Mercer, you say you're a
Yeah.
Packer fan.
But listen, some guys in
Right.
Mercer, some of the Packer fans in Mercer say they've had an annuity, me paying an annuity every year.
Tanner, that's only when they're eating fish fries at the crab.
Right, right. Yeah, he wears his Packer hat there too.
Hopeful, you're up.
Okay, for finance, I wasn't there, so Mr. Sari will be giving the report tonight. Human Services, we didn't have a meeting, but we have item number 13 on the agenda that we need to approve. And I have a question. Could the comments or replies on social media by county board and committee members about county business or concerns or about their committees be considered a walking quorum? If you post something on social media and 8 of us see it and reply to it, isn't that a walking quorum?
I believe you're right. I believe you're right. I know you can't call 1 or 2 people and they call 2 more and 3 more.
Then that's a walking quorum,
Walking
yeah.
quorum. That I know.
Yeah, but you're not making any decisions.
Yeah, but you're influencing decisions.
If you think that stuff isn't talked about before meetings, you're fooling yourself.
Well,
But what about,
Okay,
yeah, but
what about
I mean-
practically, Mike? I mean, if they're doing it, if they're saying you can only make so many phone calls, we're in the age of computers of all things.
right,
God.
social media.
yeah, but
you
this
can
is social
say-
media. I don't know.
Well, telephones are just about the same. You can get on and you can talk back and forth. So why don't we give it the same consideration? Maybe make a suggestion that
It was just a
don't
question I
discuss
had.
county business over social media.
As
that?
legal counsel.
Yeah.
What we should do is during the winter months when we're, during the slow months, I was thinking about having Andy Phillips from Wisconsin County come up and give us all a little briefings of the do's and don'ts of what we can and cannot do as far as the
Or
open
open
meeting laws and
meetings
everything else.
Okay,
Walking
sounds
forums and
Good idea.
have them go
Yes.
through the whole thing. they're at our disposal, so that's what they're there for, to answer our questions.
I think that'd be a
That'd be
good
a
idea.
good one for this.
Even
Right
if
at-
you did it during an all day, or maybe we can, I don't think you can do it on a one night stop, I don't know, depending on how many questions we got for 'em.
I would ask Andy if he'd rather come up before it snows. He might say, come up there in January, you might even mind.
Well, tell them our roads are plowed better than the ones down there, so he'd be okay.
I mean, he's from Mequon. They don't get a lot of snow.
Yeah, but I think it's a good idea for us to all be briefed as to what our responsibilities
Well, it's
are.
supposed to be a long time since we've had
I'm gonna email him and I'll ask him specifically about social media.
that. Okay.
I'll send him an email.
Also, in your email, tell him that I'm talking about getting together with him this winter and ask him what month is a good month for him.
He's gonna say July.
July. Trouble is, a lot of us are pretty busy in July.
You'll have to come in from Weber Lake.
We can just have it out there in the pavilion, how's that?
You gotta build one.
Yeah, that's coming in the spring. Okay,
That's it.
that's all for you, Opal?
That's it.
Bill?
We had a meeting on the Memorial Building on the 9th of August, but everything's still the same. We're still trying to price some new equipment. Nothing to report.
Okay. Ken, you got the finance report?
Yeah,
for Opal?
in finance, I don't know if I do it wrong, but I got through it pretty quick somehow. The biggest items on there was we had that discussion on Jim Affasanti a few months ago. We were gonna give him a raise, but we didn't have an official motion on it, so we made that motion during the meeting. One of the items we're talking about today is hiring a new social worker for human services, because obviously they're really stressed out. This is not gonna be a requirement where they have to have a bachelor's degree, because it's not gonna be a full, Diane, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's gonna be more like a back office help with the crew. So we're gonna make a motion to approve that position to be posted and hired. Other than that, we talked about one house, was an interesting discussion. And, I'll leave it at
Is
that,
that
but
this one
that's,
on here? It's not this one.
no.
What about that, the forestry worker, Jim, was that a recommendation from the finance committee to approve it for the board, to approve it?
Yeah,
We approved it before,
That
but we
was
didn't have an
approved.
official motion.
that was approved through forestry. That never made it to finance committee.
Okay, so now that the finance got it and approved it, is it a board recommendation to approve it?
No.
I mean, it was just a raise. It isn't a new position.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, I wanted to make sure that we did it right,
Because it was starting August 1st.
just wanted to make sure we did it right. In the past, things have been questioned, and I want to make sure we're not coming back on the table and saying, no, he's not gonna get it until we approve it next month.
We did it fine as far as I know.
That was my only question.
There's
I mean,
that
if it was a new
qualifier.
position, it's on the agenda tonight. It's a new position. It needs to go to the
That's,
board.
yes.
Sorry,
Is it retroactive to August 1st?
It was.
Was it retroactive to August 1st?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's it.
okay, thank you.
Highway, lightning hit the pole, took out our fuel pumps. It's like 10 grand. You must know about that, Mike.
What's that?
The lightning hit the pole, took
Yeah,
out the fuel pumps.
yeah, she's supposed to get me some quotes so I can send them in, because on any business, any proper, I mean, any building or property, we have a $10,000 deduction.
Yep.
But she thought it was gonna go over that. I mean, she did.
I think there was a problem with electricity and the recycling thing too, with
Yeah.
the crusher, the compactor, but I think it's fixed now.
I did start a claim. And I told him as soon as I get some figures, I'll forward it down to him. As long as we're talking about that, they're also looking at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It was destroyed.
Grandstand,
I,
where we're on.
I talked to Mark Zarzinski. He thinks it needs to be engineered properly. He says that one was never engineered properly. I mean, I don't know how old that is. It was way before me. And then he suggested they could get Ross Peterson to tear it down in 2 hours, but then the bleachers go with it. So I said, before you guys do that, let me talk to our insurance company. And I talked to him and I said, do you guys want to pay somebody to take it down piecemeal? Or do you want to just smash it, but then the bleachers are gonna go same time? He said, I will talk to Mark Zarzinski and we'll get a quote both ways to see which way is the cheapest way for us to do it. So that hasn't been settled yet, because that was like last Friday.
You may have to look at, if you tear those bleachers down, you're gonna have to replace them with ADA approved bleachers.
Oh, sure.
And right now, they're not ADA.
No.
Okay, so that's
How
what
they
you have to
should
keep in
be.
mind. Well, that absolutely, but if you tear them down like we did at Memorial Field, you gotta replace them with ADA. If you just remodel them, you don't have to,
Right.
you know?
But he said they'll have to determine if taking the structure around it down piecemeal is more expensive than destroying the bleachers also. They're gonna come up with a total price both ways. So that's what's gonna happen either way.
Should be all redone.
Other thing on the agenda tonight is we're gonna open up state roads to the ATV, UTVs. The Mercer shop, the scale came in.
Hey, Murph, on those roads, weren't there more than just those that are listed in the resolution?
No, there was one, but we couldn't do it.
Oh, on the 169, we couldn't do it?
No.
Okay,
No.
169, we couldn't do, Scott, and then they won't go all the way to County B on 172. It's only
No.
up to the state line to County A.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Mike, chip sealed 182, and striped A, B, and C, changed some culverts. Road projects for next year, we're looking at County G, County C, and Bass Lake Road. And Mike's gonna see which one's worse, and that'll be the one we'll focus on, but the other two he wants to have ready in case we get some of this infrastructure money. They want like a shovel-ready thing, we can just throw it at them. And then our next meeting is gonna be at the Mercer shop, and it's gonna be a big day to Richard. We're gonna get a key check and plaque, and you all should go down there.
You gotta bring the cake.
And you all should go down there and see, because it is a really nice job. They did a nice job on it.
Beautiful building.
It is,
Hopeful.
it's nice.
We'll find out this fall about FF.
Okay. They've been waiting a long time for that one section.
I know.
Yes.
That 1 mile,
We're trying.
another Keechuk Highway.
Check highway. And I think John said you should make, John Sandro, you should make September 21st Jim Keycheck Day.
Okay.
All right? Go claim that down there, and we're gonna have cake.
Let's go after that grant money for that
Yes,
section of FF. They did
Very good. Full cooperation.
How long?
we almost had it once. Remember? And then they,
Yeah, that was what, 2 years ago?
that's all.
Wow. Yeah.
That's all I got on highway.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Public comments, any public comments?
Just wanted to reiterate what, kind of what I said before, and recommend that the board move ahead with the Buck Tussle initial resolution. I think it's a good move to get started, and if you need to check things out before October, and then move on from there. That's my perspective on it.
Thank you.
Did we get an answer?
Yeah,
He's on the agenda, I'm gonna,
Okay.
I won't change the agenda now, because we got the answer that we're looking for, so we can. Okay. No other public comments, for consideration of initial resolution approving revenue bonding financing for Buck Tussle Wireless LLC. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
just to, I don't know if you want a kind of run up based on the public hearing, but to answer the questions is there is no obligation created under the initial resolution. It is just a notice resolution required under statute. So the initial resolution passes, 30 days has to pass for additional public comments, and then a decision is finally made with the passing of that second resolution.
So we can make a motion now. I would like to make that motion that we go forward.
We probably don't have to, but we probably could have another public hearing to talk about it some more when we get to the next step. If it gets to that step,
Okay, I was just wondering.
I think we should.
So in order to get to that step, we have to make a motion now, which I would like to make.
You already did.
We already
Yeah,
did.
okay, in order to get to the next step, the initial resolution has to pass by 3/4, just for the record.
Okay.
Well, I think
We didn't make a motion. Is anyone
John
gonna
made a
make-
motion.
John made a motion.
John made a
Sender
motion.
did.
And who seconded it?
I'll second.
Seconded by Opal. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You're gonna have to come back and answer a lot of
Okay, we're gonna
questions.
come back in
Lots of
October,
questions.
and we'll probably have another public hearing an hour before the meeting again, so we can answer any final questions and concerns that we have. Is 1 hour enough, or what do you figure?
Mike, I didn't vote.
I probably should have been a roll call, but
Yeah, we should
I
probably roll call.
forced, right?
Next time.
Okay, wait a second.
Does
It
this one have to be 3?
Yes.
has to be 3/4 of a vote, so let's call a roll call act.
There you go.
We're not gonna know by ayes and ayes.
Well, you didn't have anybody say no.
No, we didn't vote at all, so there's an answer, so let's vote.
Before I vote, I wanna
I
know,
didn't.
we're not on the hook for nothing.
And
That's what he said, we're not on hold for nothing until we pass it.
Yeah, but I'm a little once bitten, twice shy when she texts on this. Hey, sure.
Oh, okay.
I understand, I feel the same way, Murph. I wanted to make sure that this was what we're looking at. Okay,
You ready?
Yeah, roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Crawl,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Sendra,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Thompson.
What the hell? Sure.
You say yes.
Was that a yes? Hiller,
Yes.
McComas,
Yes.
Burns,
In the words of Ken, sorry. Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
and no friends. Okay. Now it is
Oh, the motion carries, so we can
14.
work on an October meeting and we'll have a public hearing prior to the meeting again. How much time do you people want to talk about it before we get to this? Let's resolve this.
I'd like to a lot more than an hour, because this is where this next resolution, we're gonna be signing on potentially for 30 years on $8 million potentially. And right now, I'm just feeling so soft on all the answers for the financing. I'd like to ask more specific questions
Why
to
don't
get
we,
the right
why don't we
answers.
start the public hearing at 4 like we were originally gonna do
Right.
tonight?
Sure.
And if we go past the 6 o'clock, so be it. We'll start the
Yeah.
meeting late, but
This is tonight, we kind of closed it off. It could have maybe gone longer, but let's give everybody enough time.
yeah, I agree with that. So we gotta answer a lot of serious questions. We're making a very serious commitment.
Are you gonna have it on the last Tuesday?
In October.
Whatever that is, the 26th or whatever they said. it is.
As of right now, I think we should. That's our
Customary.
normal date, the 26th of October.
So we'll have a meeting mid-November for budget.
I might not be here.
Wait a minute.
We still be in.
What about September?
That's not 30 days away.
It's not.
No, we're gonna have this in October. We're gonna have a meeting in October.
Okay.
I have it,
But the public hearing is,
Before the
It'll
meeting.
be
it's gonna be prior
before.
to the meeting like we did tonight.
all right.
Well,
We gotta make sure we don't hurry in through September and cut ourselves short with all the information that we need.
Question on that, why are we doing the public hearing the same day as the meeting? Because there's some pretty meaty questions I think that should be asked. Can we separate them out so that we get answers, let's say mid-month, digest it, come back to the actual resolution?
And not only that, it'll be fresh in our heads too, so we don't go a whole month without talking about it.
Yeah.
So Ken, are you
Yeah, you
suggesting
guys
a
will be
special
chatting on the
meeting?
internet over it.
Mitch,
I would agree
Mitch,
with
did you say that the public has 30 days to
When do you
comment
wanna
on
do it?
That next resolution can be passed no sooner than 30 days from today. So
Right. So if we have a meeting at the end of September,
Early October you could have it. You could have a public hearing in early October.
you can have a public
September
hearing,
meeting.
We could have a public hearing
and have
whenever.
the final meeting until October 1st.
We can have a public hearing anytime.
Right.
The meeting to pass the resolution is going to be sometime in October, so we
I
can have a, we can have
And,
a.
and I'd like it, just because, again, with some of the questions I had, I didn't get a clear answer on it. So if we can get those answers presented, let's say a couple weeks or 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks before the actual meeting, that'll give us all time those 2 weeks beforehand to say, all right, here's what the answers were. Do they make sense? Hey, they make sense, let's go.
Or if they have to
Or,
research on answers like you did today.
Right.
Public hearing on I think the 12th is gonna be like a zoning and highway meeting, probably.
September?
Or
October.
Well, let's have a public hearing like at 6 PM. How would that be? We're just gonna have the public hearing that night.
And what night is the best for you?
What night's the best for all you guys?
Before the September meeting.
Is the 14th too soon?
Should be at 6 o'clock.
14th, is that too soon?
What day of the week is best for you guys?
Tuesdays and Thursdays are worse.
Yeah, Tuesdays for me.
Wednesday is good.
Wednesday's usually good.
Before the September meeting.
What do you think of that idea, Joe? Having the public hearing before the September meeting?
I like it. It'd be nice to have it later,
Right
because then other
before,
people can
right
come too.
before the September meeting?
I mean, like at 4 o'clock before the 6 o'clock September meeting. What did you say?
Oh, I said I like the 6 o'clock thing, because then more people could come after work and.
For the
Oh,
public
yeah,
hearing,
that's a
If we
very
had a
good
separate public
point.
hearing and then 2 weeks later have the county board meeting to act on it.
Okay, so then we would
Let's-
not have
let's
it the
do it.
same day as the,
Yeah, let's do a 6 o'clock meeting in October, but whatever day of the week everybody prefers.
That's a
Wednesday
Wednesday, the 13th?
or the 6th.
13th.
6th or the 13th, which one?
In October?
In October.
It's on a Wednesday?
It doesn't matter.
13th.
13th?
6 o'clock. At
6 o'clock.
Oh, it's a separate thing.
13th of October, 6 o'clock, you said.
That's the public hearing night.
Okay, that down, Johnson.
And then we're gonna have it October 26th.
And we'll have an October 26th meeting to act on the resolution.
And it's all,
Are those in the paper, those public meetings?
Yes, they should be.
Yeah.
They were.
Coming back from Rhinebeck.
I just don't know where to refer
Just
to.
ask-
I said I didn't know
just
nothing
ask
about
Vicky,
it.
she put it there.
April, I'm looking at
Doesn't
it.
matter.
And then 6 o'clock.
Okay.
you said.
2 days.
Yes.
That's all figured out. To sell a house in the city of Hurley, 804 Manganese Street for $5,000.
Somebody get the water from that.
Here is the,
Well, the 13th is.
Before you go to that, what's,
Yeah, the 13th is the
public
public hearing.
hearing of October.
And the actual board meeting.
26th.
6 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
That's a Tuesday.
You'll get a calendar. with those dates.
Oh, goody.
With those dates.
I'll make that motion.
Motion to sell the house in
I'll
the city of
support.
Hurley from
I'll
Kathy
support.
Burke.
Brandon supported.
John Fenner. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Petition to amend the zoning ordinance for Richard Fortune, the owner.
I make that motion.
Motion by Murph, supported by Carl. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider email addresses for county board members through the county system.
Here it comes.
I asked to look at anyone for Tanner, and Tanner's, we all should be offered one. Should we all have a county email instead of using our own personal?
So that's what I'm talking about tonight. If you look at our neighboring counties, out of the neighboring counties, only Oneida County doesn't have county board members' emails posted. Everyone else has an actual official county email. Vilas, Ashland, Bayfield, Price.
I think it's a good idea just because of the subpoena factor. If we ever
I
get
think
involved
you're
in some kind of
Open
litigation,
records request.
I don't want them getting my
I
personal
know.
email. So
So we pay Microsoft to host our email. It's the safest, most secure way to do it. That's what pretty much everyone's switching to. So we pay an annual fee per user. For just online email, it's $75 a year for each of you. Per board member.
Per board member?
Per board member. Yeah. But that gets you an official county email that you can use for county business.
And who pays that $75?
Comes out of the IT budget.
Okay.
Your constituents.
I'll make a motion that we provide county board members with,
countywi.org.
all county board members with county email.
And also, oh,
Okay,
I don't
motion
think
by
it's a
Brandon
choice.
to go with the county board email address, seconded by Tanner.
or Ken, I think Ken beat me to it.
Yeah,
$75
give them
per person.
Tanner,
You
you're
want a
already
roll
in
call
there.
on that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, take it, Tanner.
we're not, we can't.
Let's do a roll call because we're spending $75 a head on it. Just for the heck of it, okay?
Mr. Youngs.
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. Sari.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Kroll.
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
Yes.
Mr. Erickson.
Yes.
Mr. Sendra.
Yes.
Mrs. Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yep.
Mr. Hiller.
Yes.
Mrs. McComas.
Yes.
Ms. Burns.
I really don't want one. I really don't want one.
Well, then say no.
No.
That was easy.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Penardi.
Yes.
And Francis is not
No.
here. 13-1.
Give us a office sign on it permanently.
I'll get that set up and Opal can add it to the budget.
Consider new social worker aid position for human services.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Motion by Opal, supported
Just
by
come to the county board. I mean, why didn't we just do this in the human services?
Because we were creating a new
We've
position.
already, yeah, it's a
Okay.
new position and it has to come.
Alright.
It's already past finance.
Yeah, this is something that's gonna lighten the workload up there. It's been a little less detailed work on some of the other work.
And new positions have to come to the full county board.
So
Okay,
when you
motion
say
and
new
a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just one question, Joe.
Go ahead.
When you say new position, we lost one, so we're adding another one?
No, this is a new definition. It's not that we lost anything, it's
We
a
had one
new
that
job.
resigned recently, last couple of meetings, I remember. We lost one person, so is this one
But
additional?
that's a different job description.
Yeah, this position's almost serving more like a support
Right.
for Diana, Callie, and the crew, but
The-
still handling some of the casework,
So-
not as
So,
directly.
Ken, one additional body in layman's terms.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Yep.
I accept that.
Because you voted
That
aye.
was an aye.
That was an aye.
Okay, motion carried. Approved purchase of a new Kubota tractor with attachments for courthouse and satellite building. This is something that we felt needed full county board approval.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Is that Bill?
Motion by Coach, seconded by Bill to approve the purchase of the Kubota tractor with attachments for the courthouse and satellite building.
And Michael knows it's already roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Youngs.
No.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. Sari.
No.
Mr. Snyder.
No.
Mr. Kroll.
No.
Mr. Hanson.
Yes.
Mr. Erickson.
Yes.
Mr. Sendra.
No.
Mrs. Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
No.
Mr. Hiller.
No.
Mrs. McComas.
Yes.
Ms. Burns.
No.
Mr. Penardi.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to 6, it fails.
Okay, so now what?
So you gonna send it back?
Send her back.
Are you guys aware that the forestry has spent $63,000 more on equipment this year than it's in their budget? Are you guys even aware of that?
Yeah, how much they bring in, Mike? How much they bring in?
They take
That's all we do
800,
here is spend.
they take $800,000 from the taxpayers every year, and you guys raise it every year. But are you aware that you guys have spent $63,000 more on your equipment than you had in your budget, and it's only August? And I know what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna take in state work, and at the end of the year, you guys are gonna buy more equipment that's not in your budget. But nobody ever brings that to the full board, do they? You guys are talking about a $35,000 tractor for 4 buildings.
So what's with the outburst? Can you explain yourself, please?
What's that?
Why are you outbursting? Why are you comparing to forestry? I don't understand this argument you're
I
making.
think you meant highway, Mike.
Highway.
Or
Highway.
you said forestry, so that was confusing.
I'm
Do you
sorry.
people realize, and I brought it up 18 times in this thing, the finance committee had no business buying that. Resolution 2200 was passed. They cannot spend over $2,500 unless it comes to this.
Is there no other equipment that can do the job that this would do, the new tractor?
Yeah, and push one.
I felt that, when it happened, I felt that it should have been a full board solution, but I was filling in for you at the time. I voted
Yeah,
for
that's,
it in
we
favor.
missed again.
And that's why I voted in favor of it again now, because I voted for it when we purchased it. But
I missed one meeting and look, all the fireworks.
I made the suggestion that it should have been a board approval because of the amount.
Well,
Yeah, that meeting was the first discussion about Tesla and the tractor thing. Where was I?
Where were you?
Golfing.
I shouldn't do that again.
Don't let it happen. Okay, so. Are they gonna take this back?
Sure they are, but you're gonna throw your money out.
They're not gonna give you back the full dollar.
No.
You've been using it for,
how long have we had it?
2 months probably,
over a month, when it was
A
first
month?
approved at a July finance meeting, wasn't it?
something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a couple months.
The reason why they needed it was because they needed a snow blower for the
Snow in the winter.
finance, or the health department building.
Oh, we just, that was always snow blowed, right?
No, we just took ownership of that building. It's the
No,
first time
but
we
I
had-
mean, it's always been plowed, and if it got too much,
Yeah, but
then they
somebody,
brought a front end loader in and,
The neighbor was.
somebody used to shovel all those buildings by hand. But it wasn't us doing it, because we didn't own all those buildings.
sure in the hell wouldn't
No,
hurt.
but the parking lot is the only thing that snow blower's gonna, that isn't gonna shovel the walkways, Mike. That's got a 5-foot blade, that isn't going up the ramp.
All I know is that Billy Daisy asked if they could get a tractor with a snow blower unit because of all those smaller buildings that we now have to think.
This was approved at.
He didn't want to hand shovel 4 buildings.
This was approved at the July 8th finance meeting, so you already got a couple of months on it. I don't know if you're gonna get a full dollar back.
Well, you're not gonna get a full dollar.
So what do you suggest we do here?
So they ain't gonna wanna hear, the finance committee wrote a check that they can't cash, so they should pony up.
And so did you guys
Not use,
at Highway.
what do we do?
Don't tell me. I got the figures right here. You guys spent $63,000 over your budget already, but nobody ever says anything about that. And every year when you guys do state work, at the end, when you got a bunch of money left, you just buy more equipment, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But do you guys ever come back to the full county
But the way I
board?
look at it is you spent
No.
$30,000 on a tractor, you could have bought 5 snow blowers, one for each site for $5,000.
Yeah,
Instead of 30,000, you could have bought $5,000 worth of 5 snow blowers and nobody would have had to move them around and haul them around. You could have just parked a snow blower every site.
yeah,
They're also using it to cut grass.
that's kind of big to be
Well,
cutting grass.
I'm just telling you
It's a
what they
60-inch
use.
deck on it. It's not a big tractor, it's a smaller tractor, but it's got a
We had
cab.
this discussion at another meeting.
It has a bucket on
A
it.
bucket to move stuff.
Since we put up that big garage up there, there's been a pile of dirt there for 2 years, sitting there. Guess what? It's finally gone. I mean,
Well, before.
I get your point,
The orange spray
but
paint.
don't you think you guys are going just a little bit overboard?
Before you,
Well, then what about you guys spending $63,000 that it was not in your budget? Did you guys come up here and ask us? No.
No.
I mean, it's the same thing, but nobody ever bitched about highway spending money on equipment.
We get
They
our
just
money
accepted
from the state too, and we earned it because we did the extra work. They chip sealed. They did the work to get the extra money.
what is the maximum amount that the finance committee can, what do you say, $2,500?
$2,500.
$2,500? $25,000?
$2,500.
2,500?
I'll get it from Rick, it's right in the minor archives. I brought it up and showed it to you once. Brought it up several times, nobody gets it,
That was a rule from DeRosa.
doesn't matter.
I'm just telling you, that was a DeRosa rule.
Well, it's still in effect because it was.
It was a resolution.
Yeah, there was a
Well, I don't know if it was a
resolution. Yeah,
Or if he just said you guys ain't spending more than 2,500.
and then somebody made a resolution and,
Well, first of all, we need to get a hold of Kubota and see if they're gonna take this back and what amount we have to lose before. If we're gonna lose money on it, then we need to act on that again, I guess.
We just acted and bring it back.
Put it for sales.
And if we're gonna lose $30,000, Murph, then you gotta realize maybe we need to.
If they're only gonna give us $5,000 for it, Christ, I'll buy it.
Well, that might be the option. That might be your option. Maybe you're gonna buy it.
35,000.
Let's do it for $5,000.
Wanna go half Smurf?
Give, is that Lulich that you bought that from?
Yep.
Give
I didn't buy nothing. You guys called me. I ain't calling you, because I'd be embarrassed to bring it up. That's how foolish this is. I ain't calling you.
I'm not calling him either, so who wants to call him?
Shit flows down the hill.
You know, one suggestion, we should have had a better discussion on this way back when.
Yeah, well, that's beside
We
the
never
point.
did.
That's beside the point.
That's beside the point, but we never did. Now we're discussing something we all could have used and known better to make a more enlightened decision.
Something
The only thing I'm saying.
Motion now.
That's why I felt it should have been a board decision for day one, but it wasn't.
It was, it
Why
never
wasn't it?
explained as to why Tommy said.
I said we should be a board decision. Mike said no. It
Well,
have to be.
maybe since highway's over budget already, they can buy it.
You guys need a tractor.
Easy, easy.
Well,
You don't take it back, put it up for sale.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, put it up for sale.
Put it on Tuesday.
We'll put it in the paper.
Let's carry on. We beat this to death already. Pretty soon we're gonna mow the lawn with it again. Chairman's proclamation. This is the chairman's proclamation declaring that week of whatever, the September week for suicide prevention week.
I'll make
that motion.
I'll second.
Made the motion. Who made that motion?
It was a tie.
It was-
Ken is the motion. I'll take a second.
Motion by Tyler, seconded by Ken to approve the chairman's proclamation. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Second.
Ken, sorry. Opposed? Motion carried. Ordinance, chapter 3, section 10-3-3, amendment of all-terrain vehicle road. Ooh, you're buying lunch, buddy.
I'll make that motion, but I think that we need to explore, if there's some recourse to us not getting the extension to County B and the other
Yeah,
one.
this we may have to try to appeal to state's decision, because first we had Highway 169 from 2 into Gurney, they denied us on that, and 122 from the state line to County B, they denied us from County A up to County A only.
Okay. So I'll make the motion that we pass this ordinance, but I think we need to explore that.
Okay,
However, we
motion by
can
Brandon to pass this
appeal
ordinance,
that
let's do
decision.
some research into appealing their decision.
I'll support.
Can you support that motion and appeal to?
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
what the total reason for denying.
Motion by Brandon, seconded by Coach to approve the motion to approve the ATV road from the state line up to County A and to appeal the one that they denied. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
It's the first legal.
Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn?
So,
Motion to adjourn by Kathy,
I'll support.
seconded by Bill Thomas. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You can legally do it as
Carried.
County A.
Meeting is adjourned.
Why would you want to make it go past County A, County B? And this is what you-
Get back into Wisconsin.
You gotta go all the way back around the frontier bar to get down there.
Yeah,
I said, this would save 15 miles.
absolutely.
I said, you guys just go $12 million marina that we just.
I'll roll it.